Hey guys, I am back. It's been a busy couple of days, and I don't know if you've watched any of my other mask make videos. Kind of explained that I would be out the last 3 days for an event. So today is day 6 of Mask Make March 2023, hosted by Cindy at Studio Lou. And the prompt, I couldn't think of my word. The prompt for today is clusters. Initially, my thought was paper clusters, like collage scrap clusters. But then I watched Cindy's video today, and she did most all hers with fabric, and so I'm currently not sewing. And so I don't know. It kind of changed my inspiration. I really want to do the fabric ones, but I just really think those will work better with the sewing machine. It's where you can sew them and put them intact and all that. So what I think I'm gonna do is I might just mostly do fabric cluster. No. Mostly do paper clusters and maybe add a little bit of fabric. Maybe. I've got my trusty glue here that does fabric, paper, all that good stuff. So I can do fabric. I just, think it would be better with being able to sew. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. So, anyways, clusters is what we're going to be doing today. I honestly have never, in the realm of junk journaling, never made a cluster. I do collage in my journals, and I do layered collage. But as far as like making clusters and having them to add to my journals, I've never done that. So today will be interesting. I've been back and forth trying to decide if I want to just do some random stuff I have a stack that I kind of pulled aside with random stuff in it, a little bit of lace, old papers, things like that. Or do I want to, you guys can't see it, but I'm in the middle of creating a journal, ocean and shell themed. And so my table is a mess right now with all things ocean and shell. And so do I want to make some clusters for that? I haven't decided. Because I've got little scraps here that I could easily... So I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be a random or if this is going to be more ocean themed or what. My my place is a mess right now. But I work in chaos, which is kind of where I got my name, Shell's Creative Chaos. Because 9 times out of 10 when I'm functioning, it's a chaotic mess. I'm functioning in, right now working on seashells and all that kind of stuff, but this is on my desk because I came across this and digging for my ocean stuff. I was like, I'm working on farmer's market, so hang on to this. So it's just kind of over here in the mess. And came across these kind of random images. They're kind of over here in the mess as well. Hopefully they won't end up in a seashell journal. So yeah, let's get started. Like I said, I have some fabric scraps floating around, but I have some paper scraps floating around. And we're just going to jump into this and see how making clusters goes for me. Because again, I've never really sat down and made clusters for journals. I've always collaged in the journal or, as I'm making the journal. Let me adjust you guys a little bit so I can make sure you see me and all that good stuff. So, I'm tempted to kind of start, which that kind of goes with my seashells journals all right up here. So I'll probably be referencing to, does that go, but it's off camera as to what I'm trying to ask if it goes. So yeah, initially, like I said, my plan was to do some clusters, just random clusters. But since then, I've started working on this other journal. And so now it's like, ooh, maybe I should use my time and my stuff to create journal clusters for this specific journal. And I just really don't know where to begin. That's part of my problem with this. I think I'm just gonna begin. See what becomes of it. See what happens, what takes place. And maybe I should just do this random with my random stuff and not try to focus on my ocean theme, because that's what's going to probably throw me off. I'm going to be overthinking it with my ocean theme, don't you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? I think that's probably going to be my problem now that I dive into this. So maybe I should just hold off on the ocean stuff and just dive into randomness. And if something comes of it that will work in the ocean journal, then so be it. We're not going to stress over that. Remember, this is no stress. Oh, receipt. Oh, how neat. Maybe I don't want to add this. Look, so that's my birthday. This is a super old receipt. Anyways. I got some lace snippets here. They're always fun to work with. Like I said, I just kind of set aside a bunch of junk. When I was preparing for this, it's like, okay, what can we do with snippets? What can we do with this? What can we do with that? Just kind of playing around with. I'm not liking these straight edges for some reason right now. So, do we want to overthink this a little bit and try to like maintain, like, here's a little person. Do we want to try to keep her? She's kind of cute. But what can we do with her? Yeah, this one may not be the best. I may get one little snippet done, one little cluster done. Maybe. Maybe, if we're lucky. This is some super fragile paper, but I don't know. I pulled out my buttons because, you know, I was so inspired by Cindy today with her buttons that I don't know. I think it's just that we should just do this. Just go with it. Get my little blue book that doesn't fit in frame. And we'll just see what we can do with it. We'll just make it happen. Make it happen. Well, if you guys, try to get you in frame, but it's kind of hard with my space so limited. I wonder if there's any kind of rule as to how big clusters should be, because that's an awfully big cluster, but there's no rules in junk journaling, right? No rules, right? No rules. Yeah, I probably should have got my bucket of buttons out. We're just going with this. See what becomes of it. And of course, you know, you can always add to it later. Right? I actually think I'm gonna leave that alone for right now. Something might strike me to deal with her. since we dealt with her, let's try to keep, maybe we'll do some clusters with these little kids from the book. Maybe that's what we'll do. Kind of like that. I don't know if you can see this old fragile paper, but it's like burnt there. I'm gonna try to hang on to that. Try to hang on to that option. See how that works. So, like I said, I've skipped a couple of days, but I am gonna make them up towards the end of the month. I had to rearrange a few things and take off some things that were in Cindy's original list. Just because of the way my March schedule was. It ended up being a little crazier than I wanted it to be initially. So, do we want to keep both of these little girls on this? Gosh, my clusters are going to be so big. I think we'll break them down. We'll break down these little girls. Get me a little trash pile going on here. So what do you think? Are you guys doing clusters mainly with fabrics, or are you mainly doing them with with paper? Or because again, I don't know that I've ever technically sat down and made clusters just for a journal. Again, I collage in my journals. Collage is my heart. It's where my heart belongs to collage. So I do collage in my journals, mainly because I want to keep a hold to that art form, because it speaks to me so loudly. But I've never sat down and said, oh, let's just make a little tiny cluster of a collage. I've never done that before. So this is new to me. It's weird because I usually function on a substrate, you know, it's like, which when I first was putting together, it's funny because when I was gathering stuff and all that, one of the first things I gathered was, okay, what are we going to do the little clusters on? And now I can't find them, but, oh, so I had these little cards, little craft colored cards, and I thought, okay, we'll start our clusters on these. So again, my mindset is I have to have a substrate to start with. So it's very foreign to me to create these little clusters and as their own substrate, I guess, is how it's really defined. It's kind of weird. Really weird. So, so we used up all that one little piece, so I guess that was good. Wonder if we want to have some of this stuff. This is some scrapbook paper scraps that I've tea-dyed, so they're not bright white. So that's a good thing. It's always a good thing when you tone down that white. Also got these little guys. This is like almost like tissue paper, but I'm thinking that it may be too... Yeah, I don't want to use that. Just a thought. Just a thought. I don't know that I want to use a little basket either, but okay. We are back at it. I had an idea. But it has left me. Okay, well, we're just gonna just gonna keep going. Again, I don't like the straight edges. They're throwing me off a little bit with this kind of stuff. So get that out of the way so we can have some, how about that's what we'll do. Just make some pieces to work with. I guess some of them can be okay straight. I guess these are mostly gonna be long. We'll work with some long clusters. How's that? Maybe that will work if we kind of picture it a different way. Oh, that's pretty together, that green and okay, all of our clusters are gonna match per se. Again, if you've watched any of my videos, you know I'm pretty keen on the matchy-matchy stuff. I'm all about it. If it matches, let's make it happen. Okay, okay, okay. I'm liking. I am liking it so far. Like I said, they may match, but they're gonna be different, but the same. Different, but the same, right? I guess I'm in this almost like a, everything's square now. Why is everything square? Okay. Yeah, so these will be matching. But that's okay, right? That is a-okay. We decided that was a-okay. And again, I didn't get my button thing out, but you know, I could easily glue / sew on some buttons. Hand sew on some buttons to these guys. Maybe I want to do that. Let me grab a button box. And let's see. Maybe we can just find some matching buttons. Or some buttons that look good together. And then, of course, I'll sew them on after, you know, the thought, because, ooh, look at there, I got 4 matching buttons. Because it's going to take me a minute to figure that out. But, ooh, I like that. I could easily glue them in place and add a little, what do you think? What do you think? Or I guess, you know, there's nothing saying I can't try to attempt to sew them in front of you guys. I've got plenty of time right now, so I could do that. You'll see is it novice? Is that what the word is? Somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing. Is that the word I'm looking for? A novice. I kind of like that. Sew on some, ooh, look at that pretty girl. You'll get to see an amateur, maybe that's the word I'm looking for, an amateur in action. Try to sew on some buttons through paper at that. And if that's the case, I may only get, I don't know about these big brown guys. That's what's throwing me off. Ooh, no. I may only get, yeah, I like that better. These 3 or 4 little clusters done, but I think that is okay. There's no rule saying we have to get so many done. Do we kind of like that? There's no rule saying that we have to, okay, we don't like the big brown guy. You know, it's funny when you think you have, oh, I've got all these buttons, I've got all these such and such. And then when you go to do something, it's like, oh, that don't match. I can't find what I want, can't find what I match. I kind of like that. You can't find, oh, there's another one. Ooh, look at that guy. He's a little interesting. Yeah, I kind of like that. You can't find the one that you're looking for. You know, you have a whole bucket full of buttons and nothing matches. So I think I'm going to try to sew them buttons on through the paper on camera with you guys so you can laugh alongside me as I fail miserably. As I fail miserably, because I have a feeling that's what's going to happen here. We'll try it though. We will try it. So I think what I'm going to start by doing is getting my buttons out of the way. These are the button choices we're going to go with. That's what we're going to go with this time around. I think I need to kind of glue my substrates. See, I knew I'd get to use some substrate going on here. And then I'll add a snippet of lace and I'll sew on the button through the paper. We'll see. We'll see how that works. And essentially, the button being sewn on will keep the papers together. But the glue will help. I'm being so sloppy with this. This is not really my OCD style. But we're gonna go with it. Remember, we're going with it. Oh, you don't match anything. Making it happen, because we're making some. Where is my glue stick lid? You guys know I always lose my glue stick lid. Okie dokie. I love this little lace. Love it, love it, love it. You can see it. It's kind of open. So I'm thinking just maybe a little snippet on each. And then we'll sew the button on top of that so it'll capture the little piece of lace going on with it. I'm wondering if that's going to be too, I don't think that'll be too green. I just grabbed out of the bucket. Again, I didn't have my buttons ready. Wasn't planning on sewing or doing any of that tonight, but I kind of like those. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. I will sew these on, the little buttons. Just a simple little button sew on. Again, don't laugh at my technique, because sewing is not my strong suit. Apparently, threading a needle is not my strong suit either. I'm wondering if I should but I'm probably just gonna go with it. If it'll go through the paper. Surely it will, because we can do this, right? I had to get it started without the button in my way. Yep, just like that. Get my lace going on here. By the way, I have the dropsies tonight. I'm dropping everything. I was dropping things when I was getting ready to cook dinner. Where's the end of it? And I was dropping things when I was getting ready to do this video. And I'm dropping things in the video. So I think that will work. And I initially thought I would do the little tile on the front, and maybe I will on the others, but not this one, obviously, because we're backwards. I always feel like I have sausage fingers when I try to, when I try to do anything related to thread and tying and all that. I don't feel like I have sausage fingers until I start trying to deal with it like that. And then it's like, what is going on? And I might see, I'm inclined to stick some glue behind it just because that's just me. Again, I don't sew, so I don't know my trusting limits on it yet. I mean, I tied a knot, the button shouldn't go anywhere, but you know, as soon as I don't, then we'll wake up in the morning and we'll be in 3 different pieces or something like that. So we are gonna do this and get my professional paper tool, kind of smear that around just to kind of help stick it down. Yep, that's what we're going with. Okay, maybe I'll do 2 in the front and 2 in the back. How's that? How is that? Again, threading my needle is, ugh. I waste more thread than you would believe, I'm sure, by trimming off the little snippets. And again, my sausage fingers that really aren't sausage fingers make me feel like I need a whole bunch of thread to do this, and I know I don't. But my fingers make me feel like I do. So it's not the easiest to poke through the paper, but we're doing it. And thankfully, paper is forgiving enough that it will lay back flat. So yeah. See, again, I got all this thread for just one little tie. But my big old sausage fingers that aren't sausage fingers wouldn't be able to tie it or manage it with a little bitty threads. So we just, quote unquote, waste the thread. I mean, we don't really waste it, because I do like Cindy does. Although she sews, I don't sew. But I do keep my little bits and bobs of thread pieces and all that, just because you never know. Never know when you'll need something. Never know. Lid. So yeah, you never know, never know, never know. This kind of makes me want to play around with some buttons for this seashell thing, but, you know, I don't know. And also with the fact that it's so not so easy to poke through this paper, kind of makes my placement kind of random, which is a good thing. We're trying not to be all perfect. We're just poking it and going with it. Although I gotta make sure I get, I gotta make sure I get the button and the lace and all that. Oh no, my button came off. Okay, so let's try this again, but my holes are poked, so that'll make it easier. Lace. And my holes, and line my button up, and make it happen. Make it happen, shell. We made it happen. I hope there are people out there participating in this Mass Make March 2023 with Cindy and myself. It's hosted by Cindy, but I am jumping on and I'm doing all but those 3 days. I hope there are others that are joining in on the fun, because it is fun. And you know, it's so weird. I kind of had a little bit of time this weekend, even though my events were going on. Once I got home and all that, it was like, oh, do I want to jump on and do a video? It's like, no, I have planned, you know, to not do that. So I didn't want to throw off my plan. And then I thought, ooh, well, I could just sit and do some journal cards, and I could have like a day one edition or something like that. But I refrained. I did not. And I say I did not. I ended up coming home and starting on a journal. And you know, I'll tell you what I learned. So I told you initially that I don't do the make up a bunch of ephemera and have it handy, because I just don't. I typically make my ephemera as I'm going with my journal. But I thought, you know, I don't want to start on a journal right now until I get done with these events this weekend. And, oh, I probably should have did a longer thread because this is a 4-hole, but we're just going to go with it. I want to come in from the back and tie this in the back since he's a 4-hole. Excuse me. I decided I wasn't going to come and work on ephemera for the Mass Make March, you know, in my spare time this weekend, because I wanted to stick to my plan of, you know, doing this on such day and this on such day and all that. And so I thought, well, you know, I'll just make some ephemera because I'm in the ephemera making mood. Oh, see, here's the problem with sewing on paper. I don't know if you can see that. But so I have one big hole back here now, which, I mean, I guess is still kind of cool because my button's on, but yeah. That's not how I wanted to do that. So we're just going to try to make something else happen We might have to like really glue this guy. Anyways, so I got home Saturday from my event and I thought, you know, I don't want to mess up my Mass Make March plans, but I do want to do something, but I don't want to start on a journal just yet. So maybe I'll just make some ephemera for a journal that I'm going to be working on. How's that? See, that's just one big hole there. But we're going to go with that. It's because it's cute on this side. So we're just going to try to tie this off and glue it really good. We might have to put some tape or something to hide our happy little mistakes. Yep, tie that off. I mean, I know it'll be fine once you glue it down to whatever, but Lord, let's see here. How do we want to fix this mistake, this big hole? I don't want to peel this off to get some glue in it, so we're just going to put some glue here and put a piece of paper over it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to fix this mistake all by ourselves. Anyways, yep, we're going to cover that up like that. And hope it holds. I think it will. I think it will. It will until it won't. How's that? So, Saturday I came home. I had some time. I decided I wasn't going to deal with my Mass Make March stuff. I was just going to sit down and make some ephemera. I knew I was going to work on this seashell journal. So I thought, oh, I'll start on making just random ephemera for that. And so I got started on it, and I was playing around with it. And this is one of the things, this is a cutout from a book. It's an ocean scene and all that. And I thought, ooh, I'll do this and I'll do that. And it's like, wait a minute. I don't know. I mean, so the book I'm using, this is totally off course, but just, it kind of goes along with it. The book I'm using is this little guy, and you can see he's kind of small. And so I was like, oh, wait a minute. If I made some ephemera, it might not fit. So then I kind of got freaked out about, I don't want to make this big journal card and it not fit in my book. And so, sorry for the reach here. So I was like, okay, wait a minute. And then I was like, yep, that's why I don't mass make my ephemera, because what if I want to use it and it doesn't fit in my book? What do I do then? So that was a lesson learned. It's like, oh, that's why I don't do that. So I ended up working on a journal. Started cutting my pages and put together a journal. And that was not my plan. But like I said, I quickly realized that maybe I needed to do that first. You know, there's a process in how we do things, and I don't want to do that. So let's move on to something else. I have some little paper scraps. Ooh, maybe, I mean some fabric scraps. No. So yeah, I learned that that's why I don't do ephemera first, is because it may not fit. This is little book pages. I don't know if you can see. I have no idea what that language is. But we're going to work with these guys. I don't know how, but we are. I'm digging through my scrap box here. Again, I had kind of some ideas planned. Ooh, I know what we can do. Have you guys done this, the National Geographic pages with your Citrusol? Have you done that? It makes some really neat stuff. That's a photograph, but I've done it with several. I don't know if you can see these. Look how cool that is. Yeah. Anyways, we'll work with that. That kind of looks like a fish. Anyways. So the point of mask making is to make a bunch of them, right? So that's what we're going to do. Going to make a bunch of them. We're using these little pages as our substrate to get something going. I wonder, what is this? These are rub-on transfers. That might be fun. I don't know why that was in my scrap bucket, but okay. I love these book pages. No idea what I'm gonna do with them, but the color is so vivid and bright. I love that. Again, random stuff in my scrap bin. Maybe this, maybe this, maybe this. My clusters are big. Are my clusters supposed to be this big? Is there any rule to that? How big your clusters are? I'm not feeling this. I think I overthink clusters. I think that's part of my problem. I think that's part of the problem. Here's some of this fragile brown. Or maybe I don't need to use them as full pages. Ooh, I kind of like that. Okay, maybe we'll go with that. Maybe we don't want that so... Man, that's fragile. Probably shouldn't even be working with it, it's so fragile. But we're gonna work with it anyways. Come on, Tom. I got a few more minutes. A few more minutes to play around with this little batch here. I should be gluing and sticking on my glue book, not on my thing, but we're just going with it, remember? Maybe some word snippets. Although, does it matter if I've got some other foreign language in the background going on here? Does that matter? Can I add some my own language? Where did that other little piece go? Oh, here he is. Maybe we could add our own little language in indicating that, ooh, maybe we'll play with these. Indicating that this is what this is supposed to say. I don't know that I like that. I mean, I kind of like it, but I don't. Nope. And then glue gets all over your hands and everything sticks to you, and you know how that goes. I was looking through another little box I have. to see if I had any other kind of like this. Ooh, maybe we're onto something with this. Okay, let's get this guy finished. Then we'll figure out what we need to add. A lot of brown going on in that. I actually kind of like it though, so we're going to do another one. See if we can find a little focal point to stick on here. Flower or something. Ugh. Glue on the hands. A little flower, or let's see what we got. A few of these guys going on here. A little stamp. Okay, we have 4 little flowers, so we'll make 4 little guys. Again, matchy matchy. Matchy matchy. I'm being so bad. I'm not using my glue book. I'm just gluing like I know what I'm doing. That's funny. I rhymed. Did you catch that? Are you guys stickers or are you guys doohickeys? You kind of feel like stickers, but maybe you aren't. We are going to, I guess we'll do glue sticks with these guys as well. Glue sticks being all weird tonight. It's real gooey for whatever reason. Like making a bigger mess than my gooey glue is. Weird. Okay, what do you think? What do you think? I think I'm actually kind of impressed with what we managed to do when we didn't really have a plan in place. We have a messier section now. So let's see what we ended up doing. We played with buttons. So yeah, let's see what we got here. We're cutting it into time, so we're just, let me see if I can, let's put down this so we can see. So these little guys, they're kind of big, but they all kind of match with the people in the book. So there's 4 of them. Again, they're kind of big, but I'm just going to go with them. I can always add more to them since they are so big. So there's 4 of those guys. Then we did our buttons. We got 4 of those guys. I think those are really pretty. Yeah, there's our messed up one. Bet you couldn't tell. And so yeah, we have 4 of those guys, so that's 8. And then we have these little thrown together pieces with the flowers. So 4 of those guys. So 12 of these guys total, little clusters. Not bad considering I've never really done clusters. And I was intimidated because I really, after watching Cindy's video, wanted to do the fabric clusters. Because I just think they're so pretty. Anyways, so given the fact that I've never really made clusters for my ephemera stash, and I've never really, well, I don't have the sewing machine to sew, so we're just depending on glue. And also depending on, or, you know, banking on the fact that I didn't have anything planned specifically for today. I just thought I would throw together some clusters, and that's what I did. So I'm pretty pleased. These will go in my stash, and we'll see where they, I think these two will easily go in a nature type journal. These guys, I just don't know. I don't know where they're gonna go. But we'll come up with something eventually. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me on day 6 of clusters. And I will be back tomorrow with page tabs, which is another tricky one for me because, again, I do page tabs in my journals as I'm doing my journals. So this may be, again, tricky for me because I don't have a substrate to get started on. But that's part of the challenge, is to do things that I don't normally do. So we'll be back tomorrow with page tabs. Be sure to jump in and join us on Mass Make March 2023. It's hosted by Cindy at Studio Lou. So be sure you use this hashtag on all your social medias. And if you haven't liked me yet and followed me, you should, please. Yeah. And again, I'll continue on through the month. I have a few other videos that I'm working on, a few other journals that I'm working on. I just got done with my event, so I'm going to be throwing my flip throughs for all these journals that I've got left, and then throwing them on Etsy. So you'll see a little bit of activity on this page for at least the month of March. A little bit more than normal, whatever normal is being a new YouTuber. But anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for joining me and putting up with my creative chaos.